I think the worst part of heartbreak isn't the crying, it's the silence that comes after. The emptiness that slowly wraps around you like fog until you can't remember what warmth used to feel like. Until you realize too late that the thing you walked away from wasn't holding you back. It was the only thing that ever truly held you together. And I destroyed it. I destroyed him. I'm not here to play victim. I did what I did. I made choices. I just didn't realize how permanent some of those choices would be until it was too late to take them back. Let me start at the beginning. I met Jordan when I was 25. I was 2 years out of college, working in a downtown marketing office, still living with a roommate, still learning how to pay bills on time and navigate adulthood without having a breakdown in the Trader Joe's frozen aisle. Jordan worked in IT for a nonprofit. He had this unassuming way about him. Quiet, but observant. Friendly, but not flashy. He wasn't the guy who walked into a room and turned heads. He was the one you noticed slowly. The one who held doors open even when he didn't need to, remembered your coffee order after one conversation, and actually listened when you talked. Our first date wasn't even supposed to be a date. We met through mutual friends at a game night. I was tipsy on cheap wine and made some dumb joke about printer ink costing more than blood. He laughed so hard he snorted. Later, he messaged me asking if I wanted to grab lunch, as fellow victims of overpriced toner. We clicked. Naturally. No pressure, no weird games. He brought me sunflowers on our third date because I offhandedly mentioned I hated roses. He remembered. He always remembered. We moved in together after a year and a half. Our apartment was small, with a leaky faucet and carpet that always smelled faintly of the previous tenant's dog. But it was ours. We filled it with books and candles and blankets and late-night pizza boxes. I felt safe with him. I didn't grow up with that kind of safety. My parents were messy, yelling, passive-aggressive silences. Divorced by the time I was 12. I was used to chaos, to tension, to love that felt like walking on eggshells. With Jordan, there was no drama, no guessing games. He made me coffee every morning. He rubbed my back when I had cramps. He called my grandmother on her birthday. We had inside jokes, shared Spotify playlists, board game nights. I felt like I could exhale around him. But somewhere around year 3, the glow started to fade. Not because he changed. Because I did. I started feeling restless. Maybe it was seeing all my friends getting engaged or taking trips to Bali or launching startups while I was just stable, content, predictable. Jordan didn't like going out much. He preferred cooking at home to eating out, board games to bars, road trips to flights. He didn't have a six-pack. He didn't talk dirty in public. He didn't do big romantic gestures with rose petals and surprise getaways. He was consistent. I started resenting the routine. I started noticing other men, their confidence, their flirtation, the way they made me feel seen in ways Jordan hadn't in months. That's when I met Mason. He was the new hire in the creative department. Tall, dark, sarcastic. He walked like he owned every room he entered. Women noticed him. Men envied him. He had that "I know I'm trouble" smirk that made your heart beat faster even when you knew you should run the other way. At first, it was harmless. He complimented my outfit in the break room, started making excuses to linger at my desk, called me dangerously clever during a brainstorming meeting, and winked. I should have shut it down. But I didn't. I let it simmer. A few weeks later, we went out for drinks after work with a group. He sat next to me. Our knees touched. He whispered jokes into my ear. When the night ended, I let him walk me to my car. And when he leaned in just slightly, hovering there like a dare, I didn't move away. That night, I cried in the shower. I told myself it was just temptation, that I could resist, that it didn't mean anything. But once a crack forms in a dam, it only takes time before it bursts. The affair started slow, emotional at first. Texts late at night, inside jokes, long stares across the office, then a kiss in the stairwell, then everything. I lived in two worlds. At home, Jordan was folding laundry, asking me how my day was, making pasta with too much garlic, and offering me the last piece of garlic bread like he always did. And I was lying, smiling, nodding, pretending, until I couldn't anymore. The night I told him was the most shameful moment of my life. He had just lit a candle in the living room, my favorite scent, vanilla and sandalwood. He was in sweatpants, barefoot, humming softly while doing the dishes. I sat him down. My hands were shaking. I didn't sugarcoat it. "I've been seeing someone else." He froze, didn't speak, didn't even blink at first. Then he swallowed hard, stood up, and walked to the window. He stood there for a long time before saying, "Is this the end?" I didn't answer. That was answer enough. He packed a bag that night and left. I stayed in our apartment for 2 more weeks before I couldn't stand the silence anymore. Mason was thrilling, at first. We went to concerts. He took me to rooftop bars, dragged me into bed in the middle of the day, whispered things Jordan never would have dared say. I felt wanted, desired, electric. But passion without stability is a storm without an anchor. The red flags came fast. He got jealous if I texted male coworkers. He criticized my clothes. He'd cancel plans last minute or show up late without apologizing. Once I found lipstick on his hoodie that wasn't mine. He laughed and said, "You're not my girlfriend, remember? We're just having fun." I was heartbroken, and I didn't even have the right to be. He was never mine. Not really. And I'd already destroyed the one man who was. I spiraled after that. I stopped going out. I stopped posting on social media. I lost weight. Not the healthy kind. I looked tired. Hollow. Like a ghost of who I used to be. My friends tried to be supportive, but I could feel their judgment. The way they asked about Jordan in hushed voices. The way they stopped inviting me to couples' dinners. One night, out of weakness, I searched his name on Facebook. What I saw knocked the breath out of me. Jordan was glowing. He had started working out. He was leaner, stronger. He'd cut his hair, grown a bit of stubble, and somehow looked 5 years younger. He posted pictures from hiking trips, kayaking adventures, weekend retreats. He was smiling in every one of them. And in a few, he wasn't alone. A brunette, athletic, natural smile. They looked happy. The kind of happy I used to have. The kind I threw away. I saw him again 6 months later. We were both invited to the same birthday dinner for a mutual friend. I hadn't seen him since the night he left. When he walked in, my heart stuttered. He looked incredible, confident, radiating peace. He saw me, smiled politely, walked over and said, "Hey, Ava, you look well." I fumbled a greeting. We talked for maybe 5 minutes. Small talk. Polite, distant. Then his girlfriend joined him. She slipped her arm around his waist like she belonged there. And she did. I left early, pretended I had work in the morning. In truth, I couldn't breathe. Later that night, I messaged him. I didn't expect a reply. I just needed to say it. "I'm sorry for what I did to you. You didn't deserve it. I hope you're happy." He responded the next morning. "Thank you. I forgave you a long time ago. I hope you find what you're looking for." No bitterness, no sarcasm, just grace. That response hurt more than if he'd screamed at me. Because it confirmed what I already knew. He had moved on. He had healed. And I was still bleeding. People talk about closure like it's a door you can choose to shut. But sometimes the door shuts on you, and you're left staring at it, forever wondering what it would have looked like if you'd stayed inside. Jordan wasn't perfect, but he loved me with a kind of quiet, unwavering devotion that I didn't understand until it was gone. He never raised his voice. He never cheated. He never made me question my worth. And I left him for a man who treated me like a toy he got bored of. Now, I live alone. I still work the same job. I still see the same friends, though they feel a little more distant now. I date occasionally, but no one compares. Not to his steadiness. Not to the way he made me laugh when I was anxious. Not to the way he always made sure I felt safe, even when he was hurting. I keep thinking back to one moment. We were walking home one night, years ago, and I tripped on the curb. He caught me, and I laughed and said, "You'll always catch me, huh?" He smiled and said, "Always." And I believed it. But I pushed him so far that even he couldn't catch me anymore. And now I just fall.